King Henry had lots of wives, powerful man.
Catherine of Aragon was a Spanish princess. She married Arthur Tudor when they were just 15 years old.
¡Esto es una locura!
Arthur's dad, Henry VII, received lots of money from her family. This was called a dowry. Arthur died just 6 months later, and Henry didn't want to give the dowry back, so he said, "Why don't you marry my other son, Henry, in a few years' time?" Eventually, Henry VII died, and Henry VIII became king.
Yes.
He set off to marry his dead brother's wife, which is a bit weird, even in Tudor times. So he had to ask special permission from the Pope, the head of the Catholic Church, who lived in Italy. Henry said that Arthur's marriage didn't really count in the first place and asked if he could marry her. The Pope said, "Yeah, all right." Henry married Catherine and they had 6 babies, including 3 boys. However, they all died apart from one girl called Mary, who would later be known as Bloody Mary because she killed 300 people. After 24 years, Catherine became too old to have any more children, and Henry still didn't have a boy. He told the new Pope, who lived in Italy, that his marriage shouldn't have been allowed in the first place because the Bible said so. The Pope said, "Tough." And Henry said, "Fine, I don't need your religion anyway. I'll start my own religion. I'll call it the Church of, England."
Bravo!
Henry married wife number 2, Anne Boleyn. Anne gave birth to Elizabeth, another future queen, but still couldn't give Henry a boy. Henry was also jealous of her talking to other men, so he decided she must be a witch. Next, he married Jane Seymour. Jane gave birth to a healthy boy called Edward, and Henry was overjoyed. When she died shortly after giving birth, Henry was so sad that he wore black for 3 months. He had recently damaged his leg in a serious jousting accident. He spent the next 3 years getting fat and being sick. "I need a wife," he decided. So he ordered a portrait of Anne of Cleves, a young girl from Germany. "I'll marry her," he said. But when she arrived, she didn't find him funny, which hurt Henry's pride. And Anne had really bad BO, but he married her anyway because he didn't want to upset the Germans. Then he remembered he was king, and he could do whatever he wanted, so he divorced her and married a 15-year-old. Henry had really let himself go by this point, and Catherine Howard didn't really fancy him. Old, sick and lonely, he married Catherine Parr, who had looked after dying husbands before. After an argument, he nearly chopped off her head, but Catherine said she was only trying to take his mind off being ill. In 1547, Henry died, leaving a 9-year-old in charge, and Catherine free to marry her true love, Thomas Seymour, who was secretly in love with 14-year-old Elizabeth, who he was supposed to be looking after. Catherine died after having a baby. Thomas then broke into the palace to kidnap King Edward and shot his dog.
King Henry had lots of wives, powerful man.